Hey there, neighbors and naysayers. Clint Finney again. May 22nd, 2023. I realized I hadn't done a video in a while. I had the boys this weekend, so I forgot to do it, and probably hadn't done one in a weekend or two. I'm in an area of the farm we call the Badlands. Ultra steep, ultra slippy. So that hill over there where you see them two gray cows, there's slips all in it. Not rough enough, not cracked, but slipped. I can make the four-wheeler go across it at about 8 miles an hour, but I wouldn't want to go slow and I wouldn't want to go faster than that, either one. So this is the area we also had Mostia Enterprises do some brush clearing. That whole face was covered in Mottleflower Rose. Right here below me was a big patch of Mottleflower Rose. We had them come in, so we've been kind of monitoring it, and it's grown up. I guess I'll step down into that patch and show you. It's grown back up right now into some weeds. There's some baby ironweed and some goldenrod and some other things coming here, but also the little tiny sprigs of Mottleflower Rose. And you can see why I turned this video on. Look at all the cows in those patches. This big fat steer is in here in this patch. So this is the second paddock of this that was mowed off like this. The other one's down and through them trees. And I just moved them out of there. And so I guess to take back the story here, I came over here the other day and spread Italian rye and orchard grass on all these bare spots. Not in any fashion other than just do it. My plan was do it with grass, come in here next week and spray it with crossbow. I hate to admit that, but that's just the way it is. We have fought this brush. You guys may or may not know the history. So this is the Uncle Frank's farm, the Scott farm. It was a test farm for Mottleflower Rose living fences. So we fight Mottleflower Rose here and at our home farm bows. Terribly, terribly bad. There was a hedge fence row right up the hill there. There was another one on the other side of the hill. When we moved here, it was 15 feet tall and every bit of 30 feet wide that we beat out. And then we got this all cleared up and got it in the grass, and then we started mob grazing. It was hard to get them to graze this, and we didn't really know what we were doing, and so it grew up in Mottleflower Rose again, and so we had Tyler come in and clean it all up. Now the problem has turned to what do we do to keep that from returning? And so unfortunately, I'm not organic because I don't want it to take the tools out of the toolbox. And the one tool I have that I use very, very sparingly is herbicide. We don't use it unless we absolutely have to, usually to plant a new seeding if we're trying to put in some new species. And that's how I'll justify this. We were going to spray this and then plant some new species on these hillsides that hopefully will keep the Mottleflower Rose out. So come to today, I spread that seed last Thursday, and as I spread it, I said, oh, look at this stuff. It's getting tall enough. I'm gonna have to get the boom in here and spray it before it gets any taller, because I'm gonna lose it. I'd love to go down there, but I'm not gonna go back down the bottom of the hill. But those areas are completely grazed off. The only thing they didn't graze was this really nasty bramble right here. And I noticed the cow taking the tops out of it, but she wouldn't eat the whole thing. We got a patch of this over here, and I need a forester to come look at it, or somebody that knows this stuff and tell me what this is. It's nasty, nasty stuff. It grows in huge patches. Has kind of a blackberry on it in this late summer. But it's nasty stuff. And they're not eating that. Other than that, they're eating even the shooted Mottleflower Rose. They're eating it off at the ground. So now the question is, are they going to control it? Probably not. We're probably still going to spray it with herbicide, but they at least knocked it back so that I can now get in here with herbicide and spray it. But we may try a patch that we can get on with the brush hog easily and see what we can do. See if we can manage it with the cows. That's one good point. If we can manage it the way we're managing it, maybe we ought to. G.I. Joe flying over. You can probably hardly hear my voice, but we're on the flight path for Ohio County Airport, and there's a military Army Reserve base there. So we get helicopters and planes quite often. Thank you to our veterans. Appreciate your service. We don't complain about them. They're kind of cool. And actually, we know some of those guys. Some of them are customers of ours. So it's kind of cool to see them go by. I usually wave at them because I'm hoping it's one of the guys we know and one of the customers we have. So anyway, we're here kind of looking at the Badlands and looking at the brush clearing and the fact that some of those cows are walking right out across that brush mulch and eating those baby Mothflower rose plants. That's kind of cool. My problem is I look at that and go, oh, there's another patch right here below us where these cows are. Is there a mineral deficiency that they're pulling up? I don't know. You know, I mean, we just gave them mineral yesterday, so I wouldn't think there'd be anything they're missing. I think it's just a green tender shoot where most of our forages are starting to head out and are getting kind of rank. And they'd rather pick through those little baby shoots than they would through that tall grass. Food for thought, something to look at. Really kind of an interesting study. I don't know that this will keep us from spraying herbicide, but if this wasn't where we split and go across the road, I'd really think hard about just going through this. And if we can keep this managed, this is May 22nd. So if we can keep it managed this way until the 22nd of June, then, or 22nd of July, somewhere in there, then the FLIRD will return. We will put everybody together, sheep, cows, everybody. And at that point, the sheep will help manage this stuff. So it's just going to take monitoring now to know what we can get away with and what we can't get away with. Kind of cool when a plan comes together, even when it wasn't really a plan. With that, I'll say, we'll see you next time.